Let's go, baby. Right out on three. 1, 2, 3.
The electrifying offense of the New Orleans Saints put up 17 points in the first half. Philadelphia Eagles, under the direction of young Kevin Cobb, put up 13 points. And here's a look what happened the last minute 20 seconds of that first half. Colston, a 25-yard touchdown catch, and then David Akers capped a drive. Started with 43 seconds on the clock, the 32-yarder, and here we are, 4-point game at the half, and the Eagles will start with it as Ellis Hobbs waits to return it. First half, the two teams combined for 496 total yards of offense. Hobbs from just inside the 3. Comes into his own man. Weaver lost a football, and the Saints have it. Ellis Hobbs with a fumble ran into his teammate Leonard Weaver, and the ball was recovered by Chris Rice.
I couldn't see exactly who it was that came in behind him, but as soon as he started to go to the outside, you could see that one coming from here. You can see right there when he gets away from that, I couldn't see quite who that was who came in behind, but a good strip.
That was the rookie Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play on his part. That's what you worry about as a returner. Once you get away from some traffic, generally someone's caught up to you from behind.
And then Chris Reese comes away with the fumble recovery, and so now here's Drew Brees, and there's Reggie Bush, forced out of bounds by Jordan, and we go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, the Eagles wildcat and fools in that first half. Sean Payton says we've worked on that. We just have to do a better job defending theirs. On offense, he said as he walked in, I'm going to be preaching bulb security as well, and he says I want a better balance between the run and the pass. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. And so now the Philadelphia defense backed up near their own end zone, and a chance for the Saints, already leading by 4. Handoff is to Bell, which hits the hole hard, and Bell is down to the 11 with a first down for the Saints.
That's a good job right there by Mike Bell, just moving the pile. It's easy to see, why the Saints like him after the performance he had last week, joining the team at the middle of last season. And guys, you said a little bit earlier in the first half, Joe, I mean, this is his opportunity, and I think he sees that he needs to make the most of it. And at least here in the early going, he's done just that.
Third trip inside the red zone for this Saints offense. Play action from Brees, and that's the fullback, Evans. He is able to stay on his feet for the touchdown. Heath Evans did not step out of bounds, and Evans in his first year with the Saints has given New Orleans 6 more points.
And you'll remember that when you get down around the goal line, the ball has to be inside the pylon. So Heath Evans, knowing that, when he gets to the goal line, you'll see him stretch the ball out and get it inside the pylon for the touchdown. Good effort on his part. Pretty poor tackling by the Eagles.
Andy Reid has the red challenge flag in his hand, and he throws it. And he hits the referee, Riverone, right in the middle of the back. Unintentional, I'm sure, and Riverone turns around smiling.
I'm not so sure.
Well, maybe not.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown. Timeout.
Andy Reid has always struggled in challenges. He is challenging the ruling on the field, and he may lose another.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By the GMC Sierra, the official vehicle of the NFL. And by Nike Pro Combat. Prepare for combat.
Andy Reid in his coaching career is 14 of 43 all-time challenging calls on the field by throwing the challenge flag. The question is, right there.
Yeah, it's that angle right there, and going to break, and what we had seen without having seen that angle, it looked like it was clearly a touchdown, but that one looks like maybe that foot did in fact hit the
ruling
line.
on the field stands. It is a touchdown. Philadelphia has been charged with a timeout.
So under 33% in challenging calls on the field. Typically, head coaches are waiting to hear from somebody upstairs. In that case, watching Andy Reid, watching it on the replay board here in the stadium, he threw the flag, hit Riveron in the back, and loses the challenge, and this to make it an 11-point lead. Heath Evans, in his previous 121 games coming into this season, 1 touchdown catch. Now he has one in each of the first 2 games this season. And that's his reaction. The fullback is pumped. 24-13 Saints.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. This is the NFL Now with NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, the Now Network, official wireless service sponsor of the NFL.
Well, the New Orleans Saints take advantage of the Ellis Hobbs fumble. They turn it into 7 quick points, 1:21 seconds into the second half. And now it's up to the Saints defense to try and figure out Cobb and this Eagles offense. Heath Evans with a great acrobatic run and lunge into the end zone has made it 24-13 New Orleans, and Ellis Hobbs will take a knee. So the Eagles will start with it at their 20. Joe and Troy with you in the booth. And I think when you look at New Orleans, they've got all those weapons on the outside. They've got Reggie Bush, now Mike Bell. You throw a fullback in there that can catch passes and do things. I mean, they can get you a lot of different ways. And
they've shown that. And I'm surprised by it, to be quite honest with you, because if there's one team that I believe matches up pretty well against the Saints offensively, it's the Eagles defense. They've got 3 what they feel are starting corners in the league. They got Joselio Hansen, and they've got a pretty good safety group as well.
Here's Westbrook over the right side. Picks up 4, and we go back to the sequence that led to the 7 points for New Orleans. The fumble forced by Malcolm Jenkins, the first-round pick out of Ohio State. Then the pass, catch, tiptoe, and lunge for the touchdown from Heath Evans.
And I mean, obviously the special teams put the defense in a really tough position, but the defense has got to get off the field without giving up a touchdown. Hard to do. The Saints are always in the top 5 each year with Breeze scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Here's another interception. A turnover, and it belongs to the New Orleans Saints as Shanley comes away with it. Shanley had his first ever interception last week in his NFL career, and now he gets his second as he steps in front of that pass meant for Deshaun Jackson.
You know, it's a quick out route to Jackson, and that's the defender that Cobb has to see. The only guy, you've got Jabari Greer, who was playing off. The only defender that can take that throw away is Scott Shanley, and you've got to see that.
So another chance for the Saints offense, who will come right at the Eagles, and this one is thrown away. Said another interception on the call, then another turnover back to back, and here's the play and the interception by Cobb.
Well, you see Greer, how far off he is, and so as the quarterback, you're always looking at the defense in terms of, okay, who's the one guy that can take this throw away from me? And pre-snap read on that one, it's Scott Shanley, and that was a pretty easy thing for any quarterback, no matter how many starts he's made, to be able to see.
Handoff is to Bell.
Okay, guys, okay, fellas.
Bell runs into Quentin Michael, picks up 6. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
You talked about how important it was on the previous possession for Philadelphia defensively to keep the Saints out of the end zone. Now, I mean, you look at this, and if they're able to hold them to 3, now you keep it a 2-touchdown game. And that's going to be very important. You get down more than that, and you're going to be playing in a tough position here throughout the rest of this second half.
Quick setup and throw, and the pass is complete to Meacham. And Meacham has a first down for New Orleans as he gets 10.
Now, this is a little bit like what the Eagles just ran with Kevin Cobb, only it's to the slot receiver, no defender underneath. You got Quentin Michael, who's off, and a pretty clean lane, unlike what Kevin Cobb had when he was trying to get it to the outside.
What a chance for the Saints here on the road in Philadelphia, already leading by 11. Handoff is to Bell, who will leap into the end zone for the touchdown. His first of the year, and the Saints pounded right back into the end zone.
Well, all you got to do is follow Heath Evans. You're going to see he kind of leads the way. They start to the left. It's misdirection. Get on his tail. They can look pretty easy right now.
Heath Evans, who's on his 4th team in 9 seasons, was last with New England. Has had a good start to this second half, and the Saints on the road now are threatening, if they haven't already, to blow it wide open. 31-13. And that high-powered, high-flying Saints offense on display here in Philadelphia. So now Kevin Cobb is in a position where we've been throwing bouquets his way and talking about how well he's played. A special teams turnover, then his first interception of the day. And then Drew Brees just does what Drew Brees does and takes his team into the end zone. It's 31-13.
Yeah, one poor throw. The defense right now has been what's let this team down.
Another chance for Hobbs. Dallas Hobbs, who fumbled to start this second half. Penalty flag down again out to the 25-yard line, and every time there's a special teams play, something isn't working for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think there's been a penalty on almost every return.
Holding number 54. Half the distance of the goal. First down. Timeout.
They get Tracy White. So another special teams mistake for the Eagles, who have the football down 31-13.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. May the best car win.
Well, what's it going to be for this Philadelphia offense as you look at Michael Vick, who is eligible to play next week? Home game against Kansas City before a bye week. Starting at their own 6. Cobb throws behind Deshaun Jackson, makes a nice catch. He's brought down inches short of the 10.
You know, it's a tough position for any offense to be backed up the way that the Eagles are right now. And you know, I mentioned it, the defense for the Eagles has really let this team down, I think, in the way that they have played, the way the Saints have moved the football against them. But special teams have as well. And I know that was a poor throw on the previous possession by Kevin Cobb, but I tell you, he has not gotten a lot of help from the other units that should be rallying around a young quarterback.
Second down and 6. Blitz coming. Cobb throws it downfield for Curtis, incomplete. And he had Jabari Greer with him. We go for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Hey, Joe and Troy, remember that 10-0 Lions lead? Forget about it. No one better at this than this guy, Adrian Peterson. 27-yard score, 17 unanswered for the Vikings, and it's a 7-point lead in the third quarter. Joe, Troy, and Pam.
Offensive team was never set. Half the distance of the goal. Second down.
When we went for the game break, a penalty flag was down on the far side of the field in illegal formation. We've seen plenty of different formations from the Eagles in this game, and after initially Alberto Riveron saying the penalty was accepted, now the Saints decline it. Why wouldn't they? It brings up 3rd and 6 with the ball at the 10. Point game and a 3rd down for Kevin Cobb. And the pass is which has been awfully quiet, now gets loud as they boo the offense and the Eagles on their way off the field.
Yeah, you're going to see Westbrook here. He's going to be on a slant route. It's too deep, man coverage. So Jonathan Vilma is in man coverage on Brian Westbrook. You see the separation, and if he's able to get the ball out in front and make a good throw, Brian Westbrook was going to be running for a little ways. He's just been off just enough on a few of these throws here as of late.
So now 4th down and 6. Sam Baca punts it. It's a good one. Real good one, sending Reggie Bush back inside the 30. Going backward. Outruns Gokong for a moment, but can't get around Akeem Jordan, who makes the play, and that's a pretty good exchange of field position on that punt. But now Drew Brees back to the field, heck, back to work. He's been working over this Eagles defense all day. Drew Brees back on the field. 3 touchdowns in this game. 25th time in his career, 17th time with the Saints, and he's had 3 or more touchdown passes in the same game. Had 6 last week. Starting at their own 23, Brees setting up a screen, and the first look at Pierre Thomas, who makes the catch and loses 4 yards.
This is an important drive right here for this Eagles defensively, but looking at New Orleans offensively and what they've done, you know, the key to it has been they've kept Drew Brees upright. And it surprised me a little bit. As I said earlier in the game, I really didn't think the offensive line played great last week against the Detroit Lions, but they have done a masterful job here today. You take a look, 2 sacks and only 2 knockdowns against this defensive group is awfully impressive.
Handoff is to Mike Bell. Bell picks up 3. It'll be 3rd and long for this Saints offense. You can start to make a case that Drew Brees, with the numbers he's put up, is one of the best free agent signings any team has made. When you look at the numbers and what he has meant to this franchise and the way they've started this season trying to get a win on the road, they're going to be tough to beat this year. 3rd down and 11. A blitz, Saints pick it up. Passes downfield and caught by Devery Henderson. What a throw, and what a better catch by Henderson. 36 yards.
Unbelievable. I mean, they finally are able to get Drew Brees on his heels, and perfect coverage by Sheldon Brown. I mean, the only place that this ball could be thrown is where it was. You see the pressure on Brees. He's got to unload it. He's got to throw the perfect pass off balance, and they make the completion.
So a 1st down on 3rd and long, and now Mike Bell right up the middle picks up 3.
I tell you, that's got to be about as demoralizing a thing as can happen to a defense. I mean, Sean McDermott has got to be wondering, what do I have to do? I mean, he's trying to mix coverages up. He's trying to mix the blitzes up. You know, last week that stuff worked pretty well. Now, this week you're not going against, you know, a team that had been struggling offensively. You're going against Drew Brees, and I tell you, that's as good as it gets right there under pressure.
2nd down and 7. Brees rolls right, throws downfield, and completes to Marcus Colston. They're so diverse and can come at you so many different ways, and all these receivers almost become interchangeable for Brees.
They really do. I mean, they know exactly what they want to do with each guy that they have, and a lot of talk, obviously, about Drew Brees because he's the guy who has to orchestrate it all. But I'll tell you, Sean Payton is part of that equation as well. I mean, he's the guy that's dialing these things up from over on the sideline.
Here's Bell. Over the right side, picks up 2.
I mean, you don't see too many offenses go through an Eagles defense like what we've seen here today.
So now you look ahead as you peek at the Saints offensive leaders, and for New Orleans, they're next at Buffalo, at home against the Jets, then a bye week, and then at home against the Giants at Miami. How good is the start going to be this season for Sean Payton, whose team finished 8-8 a year ago? And off the bell to the 20. Now, this was a team, New Orleans, it was 2-6 away from home last year. They had a number of heartbreaking defeats, were not good in close games. Reason why the defensive coordinator, Gary Gibbs, was fired and Greg Williams was brought in. But Kevin Cobb's first start or not, they are making a statement on the road here today in Philadelphia, as you said, Troy, against this Eagles defense. Breeze underneath, it's Colston. Colston has a first down for the Saints and won't go down. Markham inside the 10 to the 8, a 12-yard completion.
And Jermon Bushrod is playing for the Pro Bowl left tackle Jamal Brown, and he's done a good job on Trent Cole. We talked about it earlier and how Sean Payton said we can't let Trent Cole control this game. And he hasn't always been lined up on that side, but when he has, we haven't been calling his name. Overall, this offense has done a good job of controlling a guy who, quite frankly, doesn't get controlled very often.
First and goal. That's Bell. Bell gets a yard. Second down and goal. When you look at the NFC South, Atlanta would be the main competition in my mind in that division with the New Orleans Saints. Carolina did not look good last week. Tampa Bay, first-year head coach, fired their offensive coordinator in the week leading up to the opening game. A good battle between the Saints and the Falcons. Breeze over the middle, incomplete, looking for Shockey. And it's third and goal.
So you think about all the looks that Philadelphia can give you and the problems that they can present. And I thought it was interesting in talking with Sean Payton, and he said, you know, Drew Brees is just able to calm the group down. You know, and we saw that a couple plays ago on some of the protection calls that he makes. He's able to sort through it. And this guy studies the game so much that he's able to make up for a lot of other areas and just putting people in good positions with a chance to have success.
Out of the backfield, passes behind Reggie Bush. And it's fourth down. Field goal unit will come on for New Orleans.
Yeah, that's the one play that hasn't worked for New Orleans today. We've seen that now a couple of times, trying to throw the swing out to Reggie Bush, and Drew's thrown it out there, but Reggie's never been ready for it.
So 25-yard try now from Carney, who was a Pro Bowler last year. His second go-around with the Saints. Last year was the Pro Bowl kicker for the New York Giants. And it wasn't pretty, but it got through. 45-year-old John Carney adds to the lead, 34-13 in a very quiet stadium in Philadelphia. Postseason to return to Fox. The ALCS is just around the corner after the divisional series, and who's going to be in that ALCS right now? You've got the Angels, you've got the Yankees, you've got the Red Sox.
How about my Padres? Are they in the wild card mix?
No, no. I know they will not be playing in the ALCS, and your Padres are kind of done for 09, maybe a little while. Ellis Hobbs on the return. He's going to win that American League Central. How about Ellis Hobbs on the return with a little shot in the arm for Philadelphia. Hobbs celebrates as he gets up after a 63-yard kick return to try and get this Eagles team jump-started somehow.
They finally had something positive happen in the return game. Ellis Hobbs had the fumble earlier, and then to be able to get this one out and give them some field to work with, exactly what they needed, because right now they need some quick scores. Like right now they just need to score.
Down by 21. Take the handoff, and the pass after a little rollout to Deshaun Jackson. I mean, we're seeing the creative side of Andy Reid and Marty Mornhinweg as they have opened up this offense. It's like we're watching, you know, Boise State.
Yeah, well, or you know, Kevin Cobb in college. I mean, this is kind of what he did. You know, I mean, it looks unconventional, but yet I think there's some level of comfort for him in being able to throw the ball like this. I mean, he does the play action, and then he's rolling to the left and still is able to make the throw, all of it being designed.
And now back to the Wildcat formation. Handoff inside to Westbrook.
Okay, fellas. Okay.
Handed to him by Deshaun Jackson. And Westbrook picks up 2.
You know, I just get the feeling with this Wildcat that we've seen so far, the fact that they're still running it right now, and they're down 21 points, that there's something more that we haven't seen. I mean, there's something that's gonna show itself here in this ball game, I believe, that's different from what we've seen out of that Wildcat, and a chance for a big play.
Second and 8. Cobb throws off his back foot and just threw it away. And no penalty flag as some of the Saints look at Alberto Riverone. Cobb just got rid of it. Did what you talked about earlier. Didn't try to force it. Now it's 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to see is, you know, Deshaun Jackson, for instance, was down that sideline and saw that Cobb was under a little pressure. You know, work back to him. You know, give Kevin Cobb a chance to get the ball to you, but continuing to run in your routes when he's getting flushed out is not what the quarterback wants.
Yeah. Danger right. Danger left. Danger left.
3rd down and 8. Cobb steps up and slings it. Caught for a first down by Avant. One of the better throws by Cobb, and Avant was there up to get it. 13 yards and a first down.
Crossing route there on the backside, and you're going to see Kevin Cobb has time to let those receivers get down the field. He had his pick. He takes Avant, and he has to fit that one in there in a tight space. You see, it has to be between 2 of the defenders in the zone, and a nice throw and catch.
On 1st and goal, it's Westbrook. That play, the only time that really worked was out of the Wildcat. The middle of the field just opened up, and Westbrook with no gain, 2nd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, everything else that they've tried to do inside with the running game has gotten pretty much bottled up, and just not much there. The Saints have kind of figured this one out, saying, okay, we're going to clog the inside, and then if they're going to get anything out of the running game, they're going to have to get to the sideline, and the Saints feel that they have the lateral speed in order to keep that from being much of a gain too.
Wildcat. They fake the handoff with Westbrook. He dumps it forward and incomplete for Weaver, the fullback. It was there, the throw a little high, and Leonard Weaver couldn't make the catch.
That's kind of been the story for Philadelphia throughout this game, and you know, whether it's been a play like this or with Kevin Cobb on some other opportunities, I mean, they're just a fraction off. This was a pretty easy touchdown, or should have been. Of course, you're asking a guy in Westbrook who's not a quarterback to make a better throw, but you're right, he was open, and it would have been a touchdown had he been able to get the ball to him.
So now 3rd and goal. A little flip. That's McCoy, the rookie, and he's brought down shy of the end zone. Well played by Jabari Greer, and he had help with him with Vilma.
Yeah, and you see Andy, and I mean, it's obvious they ran the ball there because they're in 4-down territory, and he's saying we've got to come away with a touchdown. but a lot of, it's not gimmicks. I mean, they've been working on these things, but a lot of things that just aren't really a part of what Philadelphia football offensively has meant to us over the years. And you think you'd line them up. They've got a fullback they really like, put them in tailback, Brian Westbrook, and run off tackle with some things and just let this offensive line mash some people.
They roll Cobb out again. He's in trouble, throws, and Avant. Touchdown. On 4th and goal.
This one here was close. You know, did he get his hands underneath the ball? And it sure looked like he did.
The two officials looked at each other, didn't initially give a call, and then said, okay, touchdown. It looked like he had it.
Yeah, not an easy catch for Jason Avant. You see he's slipping on the back line, trying to work back to the ball to make the catch. What a great effort.
And now a challenge by Sean Payton.
New Orleans is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown.
We have not seen a replay yet. It shows that the ball hit the ground and was trapped by Avant. Sean Payton wants to look at it because with this touchdown, the Eagles are back in the ball game, down by, if the extra point is good, 14 points. And here's another look, and it looks like his hands are underneath the football.
Yeah, and I think it's a good challenge, though, by Sean Payton, because if they, you know, clearly this is an important play in this ball game. If they're able to score here and cut it to 14, now this fourth quarter becomes something, you know, of a ball game, to where as if this is not a touchdown, they're up 21, the Saints get the ball and able to take more time off the clock. It's going to be awfully difficult then in just the fourth quarter to make a comeback. So, you know, did he see anything where he thought it was not a touchdown? Probably not, but it was close enough that, hey, let's roll the dice.
Well, I don't think we've seen anything that would overturn the call. It's got to be conclusive evidence to show that that ball was trapped and not caught. At this point, I think the touchdown stands. And again, that was on 4th and goal. So the difference between a touchdown or taking over possession inside your own 5-yard line up by 21.
And you go back to how that drive was set up, and it was set up by the return game of Ellis Hobbs. And as we said, all the other, I think every other return they had was met with a penalty. So they were playing in a deficit, trying to go down the field. And at a time when they desperately needed to get a touchdown to get back in this, they finally get something out of the return game that sets it up.
Avant with a big 3rd down catch to set up 1st and goal, and then gets it on 4th and goal. His feet sliding out from under him, making the catch on his way to the ground. So Riverone has seen enough and will get the call.
The receiver, 2 hands under the ball and controls it. Therefore, it is a touchdown. The ruling on the field is confirmed.
New Orleans loses a timeout. They're down to 2, as are the Eagles. So Kevin Cobb with 2 touchdown passes in this game.
See Sean already looking at that offensive play sheet, figuring out what he's going to do on the next possession.
And it's a 14-point game. Ellis Hobbs at the beginning of this second half did this, which set up a Saints touchdown. But in his last effort, a 63-yard return set up that last drive, and Ellis Hobbs is the one who put the Eagles in the initial position to get something done.
Well, now the Eagles defensively are going to need to do something that they haven't done yet today, and a pretty critical stop. I mean, time certainly, there's enough of it as they move into this fourth quarter, but they can't allow the Saints to move down the field and take 7, 8, 9 minutes off the clock as they have at times in this game.
That responsibility falls on this Eagles defense and on their first-year defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott. Courtney Roby will return it for the Saints. From about a yard deep. And a decent return out across the 25. The Markham just shy of the 27. Fox Saturday Baseball, good matchups for you coming up next week. Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs, and Giants. Giants still alive. Red Sox and Yankees making their march toward the postseason this October.
Yeah, I know in talking with Sean McDermott the other day, I asked him, are there times when you kind of take a step back and ask the question, what would Jim do? Meaning, what would Jim Johnson do? Here's a guy who worked under him for so many years. I've got to believe that Sean's asking himself some of those questions right now.
Breeze pulls it back, throws to Evans, and that pass is caught and fumbled. That's the ruling right now. And the Eagles have taken over.
Well, I don't know. To me, looked like it was an incompletion. I never saw possession. And now Sean's going to be forced to make another challenge. Here's a look at it. You see Heath Evans, and does he have possession of the ball right there? Was it moving in his hands? And
New Orleans is challenging the ruling on the field of a completion.
So this will be the last challenge by New Orleans. They missed on their last effort. I think they'll win this challenge.
In real time, Joe, it never looked to me like he caught the ball.
Does he secure it? The ball still being bobbled. I don't think he ever really has it.
Yeah, that's a great look right there, that the ball was moving the entire time and he never actually possessed it.
It was a hit made by Macho Harris, the rookie free safety. Gaither eventually recovered it. But in regular speed, I don't think there's any way you look at that and say that ball was secured, caught, an element of time, or however they describe it now in the NFL. Can he make another football act? They've taken that out of the language. They say there's got to be a certain element of time, which is ambiguous at best.
They describe it a lot of different ways, but however it's described, I don't think that it's going to fall into that. I agree. I think it's an incomplete pass.
So the last three plays, the Saints have challenged two of them. Peyton is 0 for 1 to this point, but I think he'll win this one. So Riverone continues to look at it. With 14 seconds left in this third quarter, the pass is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 for the Saints. Evans has been busy in the second half. Lead blocker on a touchdown run by Mike Bell. Caught a pass and ran it in for a touchdown. And finally, Alberto Riverone is out from under the hood.
The receiver never controlled the ball. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. New Orleans will not be charged with a timeout. They will retain the ball, 2nd and 10 at the 27-yard line. Please reset the clock to show 18 seconds.
So 18 seconds left in the quarter, 2nd and 10, and Drew Brees gets to stay out on the field.
Yeah, and more than likely, Sean Payton, he's probably upset with the fact that he even had to challenge that one. I mean, and sometimes that comes into play as well. Now he has no challenges left in what could turn out to be an awfully tight game.
Yeah, you have an entire quarter to go, and Sean Payton is out of challenges. That's Bell. Plays made by Patterson. Just 1 yard, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter here in Philadelphia. So the Eagles just got back in it, down by 14 points, and that'll do it for the third quarter. (34-20). New Orleans on top on the road. Back after this from your local Fox station. Well, now it's third down for New Orleans as we begin the final quarter here in Philadelphia. 15 minutes left. Saints up 14. Breeze steps up, hits, and flipped short of first down yardage as the tight end David Thomas. And that'll force fourth down. And bring the punt team onto the field for the Saints.
Tell you what, a great tackle here by Asante Samuel in the open field. I mean, he had to get him on the ground in a hurry, otherwise Thomas picks up the first down, and he goes low, and not easy to do, but a great job and a good job by Philadelphia holding him short.
I don't know why the punt team's not out there for the Saints. Everybody's huddled up on the sideline. The play clock is down to 2.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
So instead of using another timeout, Sean Payton is willing to take the 5-yard penalty. It's fourth down, and now it's Deshaun Jackson, who had an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown last week. Second longest in franchise history. Getting a chance to do something with his legs. Good punt by Morstead. And what a good play downfield. That's the rookie again. He's already forced one fumble. Malcolm Jenkins makes the play. That was sure-handed. Eagles have it. Down 14. Just underway fourth quarter. One of just a few rookies on this entire roster for the New Orleans Saints. Second oldest roster in the NFL to the Redskins. Malcolm Jenkins has made 2 good special teams plays, including that tackle of Deshaun Jackson. Starting at their own 25, start on the ground, and they start with a 1-yard run by Westbrook and back to Jenkins.
Yeah, a lot of ways to contribute, and it's not always on offense and defense. And Malcolm Jenkins is the gunner. He splits the double team, does a good job there, and is able to then make the tackle on Deshaun Jackson. You mentioned the forced fumble that he had earlier. Really an excellent job by the rookie.
A rookie who was drafted as a corner, but who his defensive coordinator Greg Williams believes will someday make a great free safety. Second and 9. Cobb's in trouble and throws in the direction of Westbrook. Incomplete. Third down coming up. Game break coming up. Here's Kurt.
All week long, Chad Ochocinco said he'd do the Lambeau Leap if he scored a touchdown. He does, to put Cincinnati on top of Green Bay by 7. He did the Lambeau Leap, but because we like our FCC license, Joe, we decided not to show it to you. Let's just say, though, some Packer fans think that Ochocinco is number 1.
Well, we'll read through those lines. Thank you, Kurt. A delayed one if he did it. It's third and 9. Another blitz. Cobb throws for Curtis, and Curtis was tangled up. with Porter. And it's 4th down, 3 and out.
Yeah, he got the one-on-one matchup he was hoping for. He got protection, and Kevin Curtis is really playing a little banged up. He's got a bad knee. It's affected him, and he's still able to get some separation. But this is a guy with unbelievable quickness that is having to nurse that during the week, and obvious there that he is just not quite at full strength.
Fifth punt from Rocca. This one isn't as pretty as the others, or as long. And a frustrated crowd in the home opener for the Eagles booing Sav Rocca. Just a 27-yard punt. Saints have it up 14. .34-20. A lot of action in this game, a lot of yards, and the Saints, who have Drew Brees over 300 yards passing for the 15th time in his last 22 games. Gets under center up 14. And hands off. The handoff is to Mike Bell. You can see why they like him. He hits the hole hard. He's lost some weight. He's a lot quicker than he has been the last 2 years, and he picks up 16 yards.
Well, and this is an area where the Saints have struggled in previous years, and they bring in the third tackle, Zach Streif, number 64. He comes in as a tight end in certain running situations when they want to pound the ball, and he just collapses that side of the line, and then Mike Bell has a nice lane to run in. And you know, so much of them having to rely on the short game passing in these types of situations to take time off the clock. Pretty good run.
Here's Bell again, right up the middle. Fights his way for 4 yards. Mentioned Brees over 300 yards. He's thrown to 9 different receivers today, and Bell is slow to get up and can't get up. And Westbrook has his right shoe off. But Bell, who has Pierre Thomas playing behind him, has been bothered by a sprained knee. Now it's Bell who can't get up. They check on him. We take a break. 2nd down. We come back. Mike Bell still in some pain as he limps over to the bench. And it's 2nd down for the Saints. Handoff is to Reggie Bush. Cuts upfield, gets hit twice, and is banged down with a 1st down. Santi Samuel on the tackle, 6 yards and a 1st down for the Saints. And now Samuel is down and injured after that hit.
You see Reggie Bush when he goes up in the air, and Asante Samuel comes in and leads, you know, with his helmet. Hard to tell exactly where he got injured, but it was somewhere along trying to make that tackle.
So now the training staff looks at Samuel. Able to move his hands and checking for feeling in his arms while he lays face down on the field. So being ultra cautious after that hit, but now able to get up. Samuel, so that's good news. And while they look at Samuel, we will take a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
If you saw the pregame show, you saw that 3 of the 4 guys today thought the Raiders would win in Kansas City. Roll. Matt Castle, great catch by Dwayne Bowe for a 29-yard score. Closing minutes, Chiefs hold the lead 10-6. Kansas City has lost 24 of their last 26 coming into this one. Joe, Troy, and Dan.
All right, Kurt, thanks. Raiders with the football in that game at their own 45 for the 1st down, down by 4. Here the Saints have it inside field goal range, and Reggie Bush runs into Omar Gaither. A gain of 1 Under 11 to play, and New Orleans leading by 14 points.
I'll tell you, this has been impressive to me, watching the New Orleans Saints just run the ball the way that they have and pick up a couple first downs and taking time off the clock. I mean, I tell you, they're an awfully good offense, as we've talked about, but if they get this element of their game working to where they can take people and close games by running the football, I mean, that's an element that they just have not had in recent years.
Take the handoff, and underneath it's Evans. The fullback, Heath Evans, gets it down inside the 20 to the 19. Keem Jordan on the stop, a gain of 5 as the clock continues to run.
I don't know how you can't come out of this game and not be impressed with Drew Brees. You know, I mean, it's talked about each week, the job that he does. I don't know that I can shine any more light on it than anyone else has, but I do know that when you ask people about the top quarterbacks in the league, for whatever reason, a lot of times, too often than it should be, his name's not mentioned. And he has been nothing short of phenomenal since coming here to New Orleans.
It's 3rd down and 4, and they go straight ahead with Reggie Bush, and he's gone. Touchdown New Orleans to put a cap on this. As they add to their lead, if they can get it back to a 21-point game.
Well, that's pretty indicative of the way that this defense has played throughout the day. You know, they just have not played to the level that we're used to seeing, and at a moment in the game when all the New Orleans Saints is doing is basically running the ball or a quick passing game to take time off the clock, and the Eagles not able to shut it down. It's pretty bad.
25th career touchdown for Reggie Bush. And this one makes it a 21-point game, 41-20. And the Saints on the road taking it to the Philadelphia Eagles. 9.5 to play here in Pennsylvania. Reggie Bush getting congratulations on the sideline, now getting a hug from his head coach. This has been an impressive effort. And back-to-back 40-point games for this New Orleans Saints team to open the season. Ellis Hobbs waiting for the kick. He's had one fumble, had one good long 63-yard return, and this one he can't make it back to the 20. Pearson Prelo on the stop, a 16-yard return. So now the Eagles offense back to the field. This Friday, future Hall of Famer Michael Strahan is about to face his toughest challenge, moving back home with his family. They'll miss the premiere of Brothers with Carl Weathers, Daryl Chill Mitchell. They may be related, but that doesn't mean they relate. Brothers 1-hour series premiere this Friday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
As am I.
I really am. I don't know if you are. That didn't sound very convincing.
I am. It's 1st down, and it's a pass caught by Avant. Let's go down to the field and Pam Olive.
Well, Joe, while we wait for word on those string of injuries, defensive coordinator Greg Williams told his Saints defensive unit how he wants to finish this game. He indicated he wants discipline and good tackling. He also stressed he wants to see Kevin Cobb punished.
Well, we'll see. Cobb drops back. Saints know what he's going to do, drop back and throw it. Westbrook is brought down on a good tackle by Jabari Greer, a gain of 5.
And the other thing I'm sure he told him was not to get beat deep. And so we've got 2 safeties. They're running a 2-deep coverage, and they are out of there, not letting anybody get in behind them. See those safeties back here.
Cobb throws down the middle for Selleck. A nice catch as he turned around to grab it. Was behind him in the completion for 25 yards.
And that's the area really that if you're going to attack this defense based on what New Orleans is doing, and really that's the way that it's been throughout much of this second half, is you've got to get somebody into the middle of the field to stretch it.
Free play, it appears, as the handoff is underneath to McCoy. LaShawn McCoy picks up 11. Will Smith came across.
Number 91. Penalty is declined. Results of play is a first down.
Troy, you know the nature of this league way better, certainly, than I do. But when the story's written about this game tomorrow, you wonder how it's going to be reported as to how Kevin Cobb played in his first career NFL start. I will tell you that I know he threw that one interception. But other than that, I will come away impressed with him. As he hits his receiver wide open as Kevin Curtis wrestled down at the 20.
Well, I'll tell you this, that, yeah, he missed some throws. He threw the ill-advised throw that got intercepted. In my opinion, Kevin Cobb played better than most of the guys that are wearing green on this field today. I mean, he did not get much help from a lot of people who you would have expected to have helped him here in his first start.
Cobb is drilled from behind. And on his back is Bobby McCray.
Well, Bobby McCray, that's what he does. He's a pass rushing specialist, a very versatile player, and he comes off the backside. And you've got Cobb, who's trying to get something down the field. He's going to hang in there as long as he can, and this isn't a time to be worried about getting sacked.
Cobb throws off his back foot, hits Selleck. Selleck wrestled down by Shanley. 4.5 yards shy of a first down. Again, more pressure from Bobby McCray on that throw.
And Bobby McCray put another big hit on Kevin Cobb. And, you know, I've been impressed that he has hung in the pocket. You always worry about that with a young guy. Is he going to hang in there and deliver the football when he knows he's going to get hit in the chin? And Cobb has done that.
Handoff, inside handoff. Good for a first down to LaShawn McCoy. Second-round pick out of Pitt. Sets up first and goal. Coming up on 6 minutes left. Cobb rolls out and throws out of the reach of Avant. A lot of movement to this offense. Very rarely was Cobb a stationary target back there.
Yeah, they did a lot of different things, and it'll be interesting to see if that was primarily because of Kevin Cobb in the game, or if some of what we've seen today is going to carry over even to when Donovan McNabb is playing. Jimmy Johnson there on the halftime show talked about that as to what maybe Donovan McNabb might be thinking in light of all the things that they showed here today.
They fake a toss, and now Cobb throws to McCoy. He's to the 5, third and goal. Shanley on the stop.
I do think, Joe, though, you got to give a lot of credit to this Saints defense, more so in the second half, and the job that they've done. I mean, this is a big test for them, for the entire organization, a big game, a lot of expectations coming into today. They had a nice win last week, and you know, how are they going to respond playing on the road? Something they didn't do real well last year, and they've done a good job.
Cobb backpedaling as he throws, and it's fourth down. Will Smith and Vilma with pressure in the face of Kevin Cobb. Fourth and goal. Donovan McNabb with the fractured rib on his left side. Eagles will host Kansas City. Kansas City now trailing, by the way, at home to Oakland 13-10 with a minute left there. They host the Chiefs next week and then have a bye week. And after that, McNabb would basically have 4 weeks to heal that broken rib. And next week it will be the first game for Michael Vick since December 31st of 2006. No penalty flag. A lot of movement. Now a flag comes in late. And Avant makes the catch, doesn't get there, and it's a false start. It's a false start. It looked like Winston Justice moved early.
Illegal formation. Offense. Penalty is refused. New Orleans will take over on downs. First down.
So they call an illegal formation, but Winston Justice committed a false start, and the officiating crew just missed it.
Yeah, I talked about Greg Williams a little bit earlier, and when he was leaving Jacksonville last year, he had an opportunity to really go to a lot of the places where they were looking for a defensive coordinator, and it came down to Tennessee and New Orleans. And the reason that he ultimately chose the Saints as opposed to Tennessee is because the Saints were willing to hire his son, Blake. Blake Williams is also a young coach, and Tennessee was not, and he decided to come to New Orleans because of that.
So now a false start on New Orleans.
Start, number 85, offense, half the distance of the goal, first down.
Eagles turned it over on downs as the Saints declined that penalty, and now David Thomas guilty of a false start.
Some people may remember that Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator there in Tennessee under Jeff Fisher for a long time, and he and Jeff Fisher are very close friends. So that was not an easy decision to make, but he was excited about continuing to work with his young son.
Hand off to Reggie Bush, who just gets out of the end zone as Sheldon Brown squeezes down and makes the tackle.
I think when you start talking about the Eagles, quarterback situation, it'll be interesting to me to see who it is that starts next week for Philadelphia. I mean, will Andy Reid evaluate Kevin Cobb's performance the way that we did and keep him in the lineup, or will he say that, I think Jeff Garcia, a guy who's been through a camp with Oakland, he's played, he's started a number of games as early as last year, and he's prepared to play. It's not like he's got rust that he's got to work off.
Second down and 12, and Reggie Bush back to the line of scrimmage again. Jeff Garcia, who was 5-1 as an Eagle, as Philadelphia takes a timeout. Down the stretch in 2006. Donovan was out with a torn ACL, is back, just signed this week. Look at the upcoming games. There's Kansas City, the bye week, then home against Tampa, at Oakland, at Washington. That's a pretty favorable early schedule for this Eagles team, who appear to be off to a 1-1 start.
Yeah, and speaking of Jeff Garcia, I mean, a guy who I've had immense respect for, watching him play and the way he's handled himself. He's done a heck of a job in San Francisco and Tampa Bay, and the place where he's probably respected and appreciated the most, right here in Philadelphia.
Handoff is to Bush, and he got out of the end zone and is brought down inside the 1 by Akeem Jordan. And I mean, just got out. It's 4th down.
It must have been just out, because from where I am, it didn't look like he made it. I mean, it looked like he got stopped short of getting across the goal line, but the official right there at the line of scrimmage, able to look at it and see. Apparently he got across just by enough.
Now Jeremy Maclin is waiting deep for the punt. And a timeout is taken by New Orleans. See that play again.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from this angle because we're not able to look right down the line, but you can get a pretty good idea. It looked like maybe right there he did get the ball across.
I think forward progress, when it was stopped, he had broken the plane of the end zone going the other way, and I think they made the right call. It's the second timeout for New Orleans. We look ahead to the NFL on Fox next Sunday. Falcons and Patriots, a good matchup. Patriots have their hands full today with the New York Jets. Giants and Buccaneers, and these Saints, who will be 2-0, it appears, at the Bills. Jets just did beat the New England Patriots, so all that trash talking by Rex Ryan, first-year head coach with the Jets, and leaving a phone message on season ticket holders' phones, that getting out. Look at that, 16-9 they beat New England, and the Jets are 2-0 behind the rookie Sanchez.
I think the AFC East anyway is getting ready to get pretty exciting with Coach Ryan in the mix. Looking at New England the other night, they look like they're starting to get a little old.
Looks like they'll take a safety as they have Breeze in the game, and they do. So instead of punting out of the back of the end zone, Sean Payton called timeout, sent his offense back out there, and Breeze just ran out of the back of the end zone. It's a safety, 2 points, and then the free kick coming back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. You know, it's still a 3-possession game. Rather than take a chance on maybe it getting blocked or not getting off a good punt and given great field position, now at least you're able to, you know, you give up the 2 points, but you're able to regroup and get the ball off, and now get your defense out there and let them play.
Sean Payton in his 4th year, former Philadelphia Eagles assistant coach. It's back 97-98. Then he went to the Giants 99 through 2002. In his first year as offensive coordinator calling the plays, Giants went to the Super Bowl. In Dallas, finished his time under Bill Parcells calling plays there, 03 through 2005, and came to the Saints in 2006. A 10-6 record and a trip to the NFC Championship game where they lost to the Chicago Bears.
And I think Sean Payton would tell you the experience that helped him the most and prepared him the best to go on and become a head coach was the few years that he spent there under Bill Parcells, and really getting a chance to see one of the really greats conduct practice, meetings, personnel, and Sean has stepped in and done a nice job in New Orleans.
This is Jeremy Maclin on the return, the rookie. First round pick out of Missouri, and there is nowhere for him to go. Well played downfield. Prelo is down there along with Jolon Dunbar, and we go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Joe. A little bit of word on some of the injured players. Brian Westbrook went in for a play but quickly came out hobbling. Westbrook really favoring that right ankle. That's the one they've been treating using some kind of vibrating contraption, something I've never seen before. Meanwhile, Asante Samuel, he is said to have a stinger. We learned about that. Saints running back Mike Bell has a knee injury.
You've been busy down there with everybody that's been helped off the field so far in this second half. And here's Cobb again. Underneath, it's the rookie McCoy. And LaShawn picks up 8. You know, you look ahead to next week, Troy, you're going to have Vic activated. You're still going to have the opportunity or a chance to have McNabb play in the game. Then you have Cobb and Garcia. Any one of 4 guys could get the start at quarterback next week.
Well, I don't think they would keep 4 if they're all up.
Here is Cobb throwing it away as he was pressured again. Here in this second half, it has been the Saints taking over. It started with that fumble by Ellis Hobbs on the kick return. Then a touchdown, the interception thrown by Cobb. Reggie Bush with a 19-yard touchdown run. The Saints have run away with it here in the second half, and it's 3rd and 2 now for the Eagles. Handoff is to McCoy, who plows ahead for a first down.
But I think right now, Joe, as far as that quarterback situation goes, if it looks like McNabb's going to be able to play, then it sounded like Jeff Garcia's time would be over. And, you know, and then obviously McNabb's the starter. That then becomes pretty clear. To me, the confusion becomes, or the big question becomes, if he can't play.
Here's a little flip forward to McCoy. The rookie out of Pitt down to the 41-yard line with another first down, 19-yard catch and run.
And to kind of go back to what we have said, you know, I think Kevin Cobb has played well enough to warrant another start if McNabb's not able to play. I think he, all things considered, has done a pretty good job.
I agree. And he adds to his numbers. I mean, Cobb, Troy, has thrown for over 300 yards. That one's good for 25. He's right around 350 yards through the air with a couple of touchdown passes and 1 pick.
And the big thing is he just hasn't gotten a lot of help from other places today.
2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. If you look at the game summary, stats in a way can kind of lie in this game. The Eagles have actually outgained New Orleans 426 yards to 422. Another 300-yard day for Drew Brees, and Kevin Cobb adds to his numbers as he finds his roommate Brent Selling. The tight end brought down by Shanley under 2 minutes to play. It was a 9-yard completion. 359-yard day for Cobb. Handoff, that didn't work. McCoy was brought down by Anthony Hargrove, who's getting a third chance in the NFL, this time with the Saints, after making mistakes in St. Louis and then Buffalo.
Yeah, Greg Williams, I thought, paid Anthony Hargrove the ultimate compliment when he compared him with Leroy Glover. And Saints fans know all about how good Leroy Glover was.
Here's an interception by Cobb, his second of the day. And who else? Darren Sharper still going. Cobb is the only guy who can bring him down. And he cannot. Darren Sharper with career interception number 57. The active leader and more points for the Saints. That's his 9th interception for a touchdown in his career. And his 57 interceptions lead all active players.
Well, you get down here in the red zone and things tighten up. And that's another learning experience for Kevin Cobb. And Darren Sharper just sitting down. Wasn't being threatened down the field because of where they were on the field in the end line. And just came underneath the ball. Or came underneath the route.
Now to make it 48-22, it's Carney. Under a minute to play.
Darren Sharper right here playing safety, but because he doesn't have to worry about anybody going by him because of where they are on the field, he's able to just sit on Brent Selleck there and jump it. And things happen a lot quicker down there for the quarterback than what they do when you're out in the middle of the field.
Winston Justice couldn't bring him down. Kevin Cobb couldn't catch him, and so Darren Sharper gets his 9th career interception return for a touchdown. And that tandem of Harper and Sharper, the two safeties for the Saints, all the way down the field, and Kevin Cobb gets to pick turf out of his face mask after giving all he had trying to avoid the touchdown. So for Cobb to go with all those yards, 359, he's got 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and Darren Sharper has 3 interceptions in his first year after 2 games with his new team.
He had 1 all of last year, and he's off to a heck of a start here in 09.
Started with a packed house in the home opener here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and there are few left. Ellis Hobbs waiting for it. And Hobbs spins his way to the 25. So the New Orleans Saints will leave here, head home, prepare for a week where they will travel to Buffalo. And they have the Jets in New Orleans, then the bye week. And the Saints today become the first team since the 0-1 Colts to score 40 or more points the first 2 games of the season. 45 last week, 3 better today.
See Kevin Cobb there, a shirt untucked, and signs of a long day.
Here's Selleck, and Brent Selleck hangs on to the football and has a nice run after the catch. 21-yard play.
You know, I think in fairness to Greg Williams and this defense for New Orleans, you know, a lot of these yards here in the second half coming when they're just playing more of a prevent, trying not to give up big pass plays.
Cobb is hit as he let it go. Pass incomplete, and there's Bobby McCray. Jeff Charleston ended up on top of the football, but the pass is incomplete. Now 16 seconds left. And second down and 10.
You see Brian Westbrook there. Pam talked about the injury that he's had, and he missed most of preseason, all the preseason games, practice, but that's been an ongoing deal with him for several years now, and every week wondering if he's going to be able to go and how effective he'll be.
Underneath it's Selleck, and that should do it. And no, it won't do it because Philadelphia calls a timeout. Wow. We showed you the Philadelphia Eagles upcoming schedule. There's the Saints upcoming schedule. And certainly not as appetizing as the Philadelphia Eagles have in the upcoming weeks. At Buffalo, the Jets at home, a bye week, the Giants, and then at Miami.
Well, teams are beginning to separate themselves. I mean, here we are just now finishing up the second week, but we're able to now look around the league a little bit with a little bit clearer picture as to what teams are. The Jets, as you said, the upset win over the Patriots, that game's a little different than what it looked like coming into the year.
Cobb gets hit as he throws it, and because of the timeout, he gets an interception tacked onto his record. His third of the day, this one in the arms of Tracy Porter. And that's how this game ends. So Andy Reid called the timeout. And that afforded Cobb one more throw and another hit on the end of it as well. First NFL start, Cobb 0-1. It was all New Orleans Saints today as they start 2-0. Our post game when we come back. How about a 26-point win for the New Orleans Saints, 48-22 here in Philadelphia. A big road win for the Saints, and our Domino's delivers leaderboard as it does so often. It starts with Drew Brees, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Mike Bell, another nice day, left with a knee injury. Did have a touchdown, and Marcus Colston, 2 touchdowns through the air and a 98-yard day, 8 catches. That offense for the New Orleans Saints probably can be highlighted week after week after week. Drew Brees did his thing again here this afternoon. Saints will leave Philadelphia 2-0. We'll come back with more on the heels of this Saints win after this. Welcome to the AT&T postgame show. As we continue on from Philadelphia, Drew Brees had a big day. He heads into the locker room. He had 3 touchdowns. Here you go, all 3. Colston had 2 of them, including the first. The second one, and then the one underneath to the fullback, Heath Evans. Another 300-yard day for Drew Brees. Let's go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. Drew Brees, you just keep doing it, piling up so many yards and points. How were you able to create so many opportunities against a very good defense?
Well, it was hard. I mean, we didn't come into this game thinking we'd score 48. We were just going to try to score one more than they could score. But, we knew the type of opponent we were coming up against, especially coming into an environment like here in Philly. And, I think we just took it one drive at a time. Told ourselves, the key things with this game are taking care of the football and, not taking any negative plays, and I think we did a pretty good job of that.
It's not very often I ask you to talk about the opposing quarterback, but what were your impressions of Cobb?
I thought he did a good job. Obviously in a tough situation, probably not expecting this to happen, and all of a sudden he's thrown in the mix, but thought he did a great job. It was tough at the end because, you're kind of getting teed off on a little bit, but I thought he hung in there and did a good job.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations on your baby.
Thank you, Pam.
From 8 months ago.
Greatest thing in the world, yeah.
Back to you, Joe.
All right, thank you, Pam, and thanks to Drew Brees for hanging around. We'll come back. One more break, one more final word on this Saints win in Philadelphia. Back with more on the AT&T postgame show after this. And as we start to say goodnight, the AT&T postgame show, a nice moment between Drew Brees to Kevin Cobb in his first NFL start. It's a 48-22 win for the Saints on the road. Coming up next on Fox, it's Big Shots, Titans at the T. Then tonight on Fox, 7 Eastern, American Dad, followed by The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad. And we look ahead to Fox Saturday Baseball next week. The Red Sox at the Yankees, the Cubs at the Giants, on the air at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. That's Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's Fox NFL Sunday, Week 3. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And we say that promotional consideration is paid for by the following. $70 points were scored on this field here today, and the Saints had 48 of them. The New Orleans Saints 2-0. They get a 48-22 win on the road from all of us in Philly. So long. Goodbye.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.